And he would never come into the palace to not become disturbed by the opulence and all that. No? And the king would come and take advice from Chanakya Pandit. And he would come out of the palace. And actually Prabhupada once said he came by foot. And normally these great persons, they would carry them all the time. You know, he would come out, pay obeisances, and ask for advice. And Prabhupada said that Chanakya Pandit only gave advice once. There was no discussion, there was nothing. And if the king didn't accept, he didn't give attention to him. Even though he was such an important personality. And Srila Prabhupada also tried to give advice to Indira Gandhi, for example. No? At one point, Prabhupada had an audience. They had arranged something that he could speak to Indira Gandhi. She was a president in India. And Prabhupada made a whole list of points that he wanted to. For example, one of the points was that he would ask her to give more facilities to his Western disciples for visas, long-term visas. Yeah, like that. I don't remember the other things. Is that mentioned in Lilamrita?
Yes.
Yes, sir? Something like that. Yeah.
So how do we make, well, I guess today's Acharya is Prabhupada, how to make him prominent, how to make his teachings, I guess, the most important thing in nowadays.
You mean amongst us or
amongst
the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, becoming very conscious of what Prabhupada's teachings are, what his contribution was. Yeah. And I mentioned that many times, and when you read Prabhupada's books or you read his diaries and all that, that naturally everyone should come to the conclusion this should be known by the whole world. These books should be known by the whole world. What am I doing? That's why we heard when we were talking about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, this letter that the GBC published for all the temples, that one of the things that Prabhupada told Gopal Krishna Maharaj to print books, and he became a BBT trustee also. Yeah. And one thing I forgot to say when we were speaking about Gopal Krishna Maharaj, the context that I had with him, I was very impressed by his simplicity. Very simple. Also when he gave classes, very simple. Did you hear classes of Gopal Krishna Maharaj?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very simple and very essential. Always coming to book distribution, book publication, everything. Yeah. Anyway, I added it now.
I heard him speak in Kenya, Nairobi.
Yeah.
And there was many.
You went to Kenya?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was a GBC then.
GBC for East Africa.
Yeah.
And
he had a big zone.
Yeah.
He was also GBC in Russia, in many places, in India, and also Middle East, I think also, some of these countries.
So he was speaking, and very softly, very simple.
Yeah.
And there was many Africans there. But in Kenya, usually the programs are dominated by the Indians.
Indians, yeah.
But even though the Africans, they were very impressed by him. They were very touched by just, his saintliness. They'll come to the street to me and say, oh, this man, so old, but he speaks so nicely. You can feel he's very determined. He dedicated his life to God. They feel this from him.
Yeah, like we always say now, we lost a very important personality. Unfortunately, lately I hear so many news of God brothers leaving. And now it's up to you. You are the generation that is supposed to pick up the responsibilities and the tradition and maintain Prabhupada's teachings as they are. Yeah. Unfortunately, already so many things that are manifesting that are not very auspicious. So it's up to you now. You have to become the leaders. You have to teach by your own example. No, when new people coming, no, they need this example, these examples. What do you think?
It's important.
Huh?
It's important. Yeah. Prabhupada is the best. How we can see it in him. How we did it.
Yeah, Prabhupada was a real acharya, no, acharya, teaching by his own example. I remember there was one example, there was one thing, that in the very end, I think it was already 77, or if not, at the end of 76, they were going to the Kumbh Mela. No? The ISKCON was taking part in the Kumbh Mela. And Prabhupada was also going there, even though he was already pretty weak and like that. And then they were staying there, and Prabhupada noticed that his disciples didn't take bath, I say, in the morning. Yeah, they were supposed to go to the river, down the river, and the water was actually, it seems that it was pretty cold or something like that. Yeah? And then Prabhupada went there to teach him, took his bath in the cold water in the river, just to give an example. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so, any more comments, questions? Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Thank you for your patience with me. Srila Prabhupada ki.